When you're playing up against a very high pressing, aggressive team, this is what you can do to build up effectively from the back. You can push more players onto the last line to open up space in build-up. That forces the opposition into a predicament, because if they stay where they are, the space will be in behind. If they follow, the space is there in the first phase. So for example, in this scenario, the fullbacks push on very aggressively here. The wingers can tuck in, and now straight away you have a 3v2 scenario on both sides of the pitch. These two wingers are now facing a problem because they are meant to be marking someone. It's a very high press. Now, do they stay where they are and allow the goalkeeper to go long directly into this space where they can compete for a second ball and have that +1 overload? Or do they track back, creating more space in build-up for the two centre-backs to receive the ball and step and dictate? If the 8 and 10s focus on this space here, well, look at that amount of space opened up in the central area, where if the wingers tuck in, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 3. It's a 5v3 because the 8s and the 10s are now focused in the wide spaces. So pushing more players onto the last line creates problems, because now the opposition are having to think, do I follow or do I stay? If I stay, the opportunity is there for that long ball, for that second ball, or do I follow? If I follow, now they can build out. So what do I do? That's what the opposition are thinking. And what the opposition could do is go into a 4-4-2, where they'll push the 10 and the 9 to create a front two. The wingers will go here to create 2 banks of 4. And now you have the overload at the back. Goalkeeper gives out to the centre-back. Centre-back steps with the ball. The 8, 6, 4 and 5, it's a 4 versus 2. This 8 can peel out wider to receive the ball. And as they receive the ball, this 6 can shift inside to create a makeshift back 3 with the central defensive midfielder. And now look at the situation here. With the number 8 at the base of build-up, being able to dictate play, this number 9 can now drift inside and make runs in behind. There's all sorts of problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5v4 situation here. The 7 might stay inside, allowing the left back to receive the ball. The left back will have pressure, but the 8 is there to receive the ball again and dictate. If the opposition really shuffle across aggressively, the switch is there. That diagonal pass into this space, and now there's a 2v1 scenario here. So when you're facing a team that likes to push up and be very aggressive, you have to force them into positions that they do not want to go, or you have to force them to change shape when they don't want to change shape. You just have to think like that, whether that's pushing more players onto the last line or bringing more players closer to the ball, which leaves space in behind. So for example, bringing more players to the ball means that the two centre midfielders drop very deep. The fullbacks drop very deep as well. And now the opposition front 3 are in a predicament. Do they really press the fullbacks, leaving space here? Or do they mark that space, which means that the fullbacks can receive the ball and then they can press? But with your fullbacks being that option in the first place, it allows your team to rotate further up the pitch while the ball is in play. What does that mean? So your goalkeeper has the ball from the goal kick. Your two centre midfielders, instead of starting around here, they've really dropped deep. Will the 8 and 10 follow? Because if they do, look at that much space. That ball can go long. Whether or not they win the first ball, that second ball is there to be won and then to play from there. So, once again, you're forcing the opposition into a predicament. Are you going to follow me because I'm dropping deep to receive the ball? Or are you going to stay? If you stay, I can just receive the ball. So, forcing them into situations that they do not want to be in is the way that you can build out effectively when you're playing against a very aggressive, high-pressing team. Now, when you're set up like this, they could respond by dropping an 8 into that position, and now they can go and match you man for man. With these two marking your front 2, and then the striker and the 10 marking the centre midfielders. But you still have that overload with your 2 centre-backs and your goalkeeper. The goalkeeper can give out to the centre-back here, with your full-back very deep. Once again, this winger is not really comfortable. Do they really press the full-back aggressively, which gives space for the 7 to receive the ball, or for the 10 to drop into this space here? Or does the 7 stay and then the left back receives the ball? As the left back receives the ball, of course there is going to be pressure. But then while the ball is being passed out to the left back, that's when that rotation has happened, where the 10 can drop into this wide space and receive the ball, where the 7 can drop very deep, forcing this fullback to follow, and then a little clip ball in behind here, and then this 7 is spinning into this space. Whether or not the 10 wins the first ball, it will drop, the 7 can trap it and play. So this situation here increases the chances of winning that second ball if the first ball isn't won by the number 10. With your 7 starting very deep, ball goes in behind, now the 7 is spinning into this space, maybe the 10 can chest it, set. Now you have runners in behind, and now just look at that situation. It's a 1-2-3-4 against the 1-2-3, 4v3, and that's what we call an artificial counterattack, because now this situation just looks like a counterattack, even though it wasn't. That all started from the red team dropping very deep, drawing the opposition towards them, which allows for space to open up in behind. And notice how in that scenario, it was about playing in the wide areas where there is space, instead of playing centrally against a high-pressing, aggressive team where they're going to be sharp around those second balls and be very tight to their man in the central pockets. Drifting out wide, once again, opens up space, creates problems. For example, the goalkeeper has the ball here, plays out to the right centre-back. The 10 might start to press. The 11 might be ready to press, but not pressing aggressively straight away. Ready to press means that this player is free. As the ball goes there, that's when the 11 can drop very deep. The 11 can receive the ball with pressure, with one touch, play out to the 6 who's now free because the 10 decided to press the centre-back. The 6 can now switch in behind. So just notice how those little details can manipulate the opposition into pressing in positions where they think they can win the ball, but they can't because you're prepared for it. You have a plan for it. By dropping players deep, it just creates problems for the opposition. So when you're playing against a high-pressing, aggressive team, you have two options. You either push players onto the last line, which forces them to push back, or you say, okay, you're pressing me very high. I'm going to drop even deeper to create more problems for you. Because now if you press me, you're leaving space in behind, and you ultimately do not want to do that. So if you stay where you are, we're just going to receive the ball, and we have a plan in place to exploit the space in behind and create goal-scoring opportunities from our own build-up. So you either push players onto the last line and play your wingers in the pockets, or you drop your players even deeper to have more options in build-up, to draw them in, and then play the space in behind. Now send this to someone who needs to watch this. Peace.